Yo, here we go again, right? Here we go again, man. Oh my gosh. Drop a drop. uh, Part two took me 2 days to make. It really did. It took me 2 days because I like the confusing angles versus the blatant. Because blatant is good also, but the confusing angles. Now, Kate, fan art Kate. No, this is not a South Park character. This is Gears of War Pop, right? And this angle is a crazy angle because it's a phone game. It's free. And then you've got Gears 5. You got Gears 4. I'm not a fan of Gears of War, to be honest with you either. It's not a bad game, but it's just not my cup of tea. But that never stopped me from just, playing the game in general. There's even a machine. I don't think we'll get as far as to the machine yet until I've done more research on the machine. But okay, so why specifically Kate from Gears Up? Now, crazy as it is, most of these video game secrets too are connected to some other things too, which I'm hoping to discuss about in the future. About another subject, but that other subject, I'm really trying to get a lot of info on that just before talking about that. But so why would I talk specifically about Kate if Kate's connected to other video game secrets, right? But like she's also connected to the secret we want to know about, Shadow of Colossus. She's connected in a way to it, and it's kind of like. It's scary. Yeah, for sure. It's scary because Phil Spencer, Microsoft, American company. And in general, we were just kind of staying on the Japanese outlet, but we were still kind of in the American outlet because we all know that Fumito and the people that worked on Shadow of Colossus are fans of stuff like Beauty and the Beast, and they're fans of Godzilla and giant creature attacks. And I think even there was not Power Rangers, but the other one they worked on, and that was a good show. That was the spin-off Power Rangers. That was a really good show. That got canceled, of course. I forget what it was called. It was Beetle something. Yeah, Beetle or whatever. But okay, so Gears Pop, it ran for quite a while. One of my friends recently told me he has it, and I liked Gears Pop as opposed to Gears 5 and Gears 4, but Gears 5 did have something, so hard to jump to conclusions on that. Now, even Gears 4 did have something, but I think Gears 4's angle was another out there thing because they're like, oh, here's Marcus Phoenix and he's growing tomatoes. And the funny thing about tomatoes is tomatoes probably one of the most useless vegetables. And then you got all kinds of connections with tomatoes. You could go as far as to VeggieTales if you really wanted to. You got a ton of things. Because you got to remember, this is working in a TCG, which is like an American thing. But it's also hiding some Japanese stuff, of course. And it kind of makes sense why Gears 1 was... they put so much emphasis on Gears 1. Now, Gears 1 does have... something it has, but Gears 1's rat, which a lot of people talk about, the rat, that's not really talkable towards what we're trying to get at, but there is, the rat. And, obviously the rat could be a distraction, a huge distraction, because all the small creatures that were in Shadow of Colossus, right? So, but why did they choose Gears of War 5, and why did they choose? I think they chose a little bit of Gears of War 4 also, because Gears of War 4 had some silly cutscenes. That's for sure. They had some silly cutscenes. They had a really silly puzzle in it. The silly puzzle was pretty up there as also. To do more breakdowns on that, I'm gonna have to look deeper into that. But okay, so what is it in Gears 5? Gears 5. Kate's just doing a lot of things. I remember the snow level. The town is really good. I really like the town. This town desert area thing. I saw the what is it? Of course I saw the ending to Gears 4, and Gears 4's ending was. See, that's what's crazy. Gears 4's ending. I believe it was Gears 4. If not, it was Gears 5. That was very silly. It felt like one of the tutorial levels, but it felt like you were moving around a giant robot. You're moving around and stuff, and which was just expected because you had the X. Xenoblade X. So you already hinted that Gears of War was interested in giant robot stuff, but so the Gears Pop was an ambitious project because their project was to change the gameplay, have an over the top, change the art style, do all kinds of things just in case. Because in a market strategy, they would have you just in case, like saying, "Hey, we're going to try and change something up." But as you know, they went back to Gears 5. Gears 5, they hid this pretty well, but it was kind of it was so stupid how they hid it. I guess the idea was it wasn't stupid; it was stupid genius, kind of let's give Kate military PTSD. Let's give her a headache. Let's give her a headache. Let's give her PTSD. Let's add a very, very crazy cutscene, right? That cutscene, I still have to view that. It's kind of this electricity part. Because when you're looking at it, you don't even want to look at it because it's so silly, and it kind of hurts your eyes because of all the updated textures. But I think that's also another point. All the updated textures are trying to cancel something out, and it's not really clear what they're trying to cancel out, but that's part of the secret too, because Kate really starts to have these flashbacks, this head stuff, where she's grabbing her head. And grabbing her head is very important, as silly as it is, just as a simple thing of grabbing the head, because it was kind of Gears of War just mainly stayed, just on the same path and not having the end game characters grab their stuff. They would have them grab the weapons, do all the other stuff, the runting, the crouching, the shooting over the cover and all that. But they would never do a motion for that. And then they knew when the right time was to do it. Kate has always been their project, and it's kind of funny too, because even in Gears Pop, she's kind of enjoyable. She has the oh yeah. Has this oh yeah, this funny little oh yeah thing, and out of all the voice actings in Gears Pop, that's probably the preferred one that you could tolerate. But I don't know, the other ones they're okay, but this ain't about ranking them necessarily, but so they made her character design. You see how they made her character design, and they made it really good. Now, I kind of didn't draw the head right because the eyes are even bigger, but I kind of made the eyes tiny because I just wanted to make it quick, right? And so Kate probably has like, the silly feminist or hairstyle. You could try and say feminism, but you could also go probably like activism. Just act like an activist. And this is just how odd it gets because video games clearly have no boundaries of what they want to do, why they want to do it, why they want to make a character, why they want to change the focus of it. They had her be like kind of like a catalyst now because they've had her not in just one game, they've had her in 2 games. And you even have the female boss, the female boss of Gears of War, Hive and all that. She's from what I've gathered from her is that they've had a whole thing done with her with the Locust and all that, but like they had her. She was a distraction just for Kate, the whole entire Kate thing, and that's why it blends so well. That's why the Kate talking to the enemy kind of thing, that blends. It's to show what's to show. I guess it's like it's kind of like a gateway that they could, like, if they wanted like some talking, they could put it in a Gears of War game and it just wouldn't make any sense, like as opposed to going to the Shadow of Colossus game. So they could just go into a Gears of War game, say the voice acting lines that they want, and put it behind Gears of War characters. And that's like Kate's basically it was kind of silly too because I don't remember, but I think people did not like, from what I've heard from the Gears of War community, they were indifferent about Gears of War 4. They still like Gears of War 4, but Gears of War 5 they just did not like. And all of it kind of made sense. It all just made kind of sense that this platform would have been chosen. I mean, we've already had, the Nintendo and Xbox collaboration that everyone's aware of like, Nintendo games and Xbox games being shared together. And then you got Xbox, of course, sharing PlayStation games, right? So that's where all the crate. It's so crazy. There are so many HTMLs I have to work with. I'm telling you, I have like way too many HTMLs. But the reason I like Kate out of all of them is Kate is only relatable through a phone game. Most of the time when you're hearing Kate talk, like I'm going to rewatch some of her cutscenes of her talking and that and see if I can find anything. But she... and it's kind of funny too because what do we know? We have jet skis. You know what I'm saying? We have jet skis, and the jet skis were really funny in Gears of War because, of course, what other game would you think about with a jet ski? Oh, that's right, Banjo-Kazooie, right? And there's even like the the multi-platforming of Banjo-Kazooie, right? So where Banjo-Kazooie is like on, every platform, that kind of thing. There's a... she does irritate me, but in a good way, kind of like a scary way, kind of like... normally female activists, there's really nothing wrong with a female activist, but clearly... they like the cringe angle. I think they like the cringe angle of a female that says she's an activist, but really she's not an activist, and she's just a feminist. And that's kind of the angle they like about that. Now, why would they choose this angle? That's a very good question. You're probably like, well, if this is going to be something very important, why would they choose this angle? Well, there's people that play Zelda Wind Waker. There's people that play Shadow of Colossus, both those games. And they're kind of like, what draws them is different stuff. Not all the time with a video game secret. Of course, they want to learn more about the video game secret, but not all the time do they want to focus on it, but not all the time. Sometimes some of the video game secret people are just curious and seeing something else or something different. And they've been working really hard on this Gears of War thing because they put a ton of work into Gears of War 1. Gears of War 2, some people argue that they liked Gears of War 2 also. They liked the co-op. So there was some arguments with Gears of War 2. Judgment had arguments. Judgment's a really another good one to look into because Judgment kind of like flew, it just flew under there. But all these Gears of War games, man, it personally was like, it's kind of funny too because you got a lot of other different Xbox games you'd rather play, like State of Decay. There's different Xbox games that you would rather just jump into, but like they just continuously make like action-packed movies, and I guess because since they kept the over-shoulder, and the over-shoulder was, like Resident Evil 4, and you'd probably more argue towards like an over-shoulder of Resident Evil 5. And that's just another crazy thing. A lot of people just love the new Resident Evil stuff. So what better way to make an American game and add some Resident Evil camera elements, change your gameplay mechanics so it's not all like Resident Evil, change the running and the crouching mechanics for the Gears of War game. But they've always had a way of you like just finding something with Gears of War. Like the in depth of, and I even go to like full detail of like the gun that they chose specifically, the Hammer of Dawn gun. That one's gonna be a hard one to talk about because that one goes with a different thing in Shadow of Colossus, a completely different thing in Shadow of Colossus. Not the thing that we're trying to focus on right now. And that's how silly it is. Like think about it. I mean, out of all the jest of that, you have Kate's Gears pop. It's very silly. It's confusing. It's confusing and silly because you have is the gear pop, which also got it got one of those pops that you can buy. So you can buy a pop. Yeah, you can buy a physical product of this. I never bought the product of it. I would like to see the opening of it. But then you have Kate, who she's in Gears 5, her headache thing. Now, they kind of hinted at her headache thing in Gears 4 with her motions, just the way her body moved, but not until Gears 5 did they actually show it. And it does make sense that they only showed it towards Gears 5 because they had the robot, like I told you. Now, they had the robot in 4, but in 5 they wanted to make more of the robot. They wanted you to use the robot, upgrade the robot and all that stuff. The city, I will go back and revisit the city. See what I mean? This is 18 minutes. 18 minutes for like just two subjects. And like, if Kate was not a Gears pop, I think like I would just hate Kate. And see, that's the point. But you're supposed to hate Kate. And I think the funny part is that they put her into a Gears pop just so you'll like her. That's another funny thing that they're doing, They tend to do that, man. They tend to do that with a lot of video game secrets. There's a lot of crazy video game secrets, even something that you would not like. They try and find you a way to play. For instance, I just didn't. I thought I would like never be like a super fan or like a fun fan of Disney games, but then they made Disney games on the Super Nintendo, and it was actually enjoyable because they were really difficult. They even made a Cheetos game, It's not like they haven't done this. They've done in the past. They've always tried to stretch it out. So they've tried to, continuously stretch out something that you would not pay attention to and make it decent. But her hair color is interesting too because it's it's not too different. Kate's hair is not too different from the stuff that we're talking about, but it is a little different. Maybe it's just as a distraction, which I could see the distraction part of it. Uh, the updates of her styles too. That's another thing to talk about because I'm all the outfits and all the stuff. And then you got like the Gears of War character you don't really pay attention to. The other female Gears of War characters, which they could have something. I paid more attention to the guy that dies in Gears of War that they kill, because specifically killing him, like taking a new character and killing him, I thought was more important. And it's more important, but it's like uh, they had a failed, they failed with the females. Gears of War 2, they failed with the female. From what I heard from many Gears of War people, they were kind of annoyed by it. They wish it would have been done better. They wanted them to focus on the Queen Locust, but then they added the girlfriend thing. But that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Why it's so American. They fit in the female girlfriend, kind of like, because Gears of War is supposed to be about a different audience. It's about like movie audience and TV show audience. So they like to like make a girlfriend and boyfriend relationship in Gears 2. Gears 2 was debated because Gears War 1 had a pretty decent concept, and then like Gears 2 was just a little bit more colorful, and that's the thing too, colorful, like all these. And you could try and argue with it. Trust me, I've tried to argue with it. Gears of War Judgment cell shaded, right? Gears of War 3 a little bit different, just a little bit different. Gears 2 colorful. Gears 4 colorful. Gears 5 colorful. And I guess that's where all the marketing hype too also is, because Gears 6. And if you really just want to get into it, you could go with, of course, the other project that they've worked on with Jacob. You could go into that one too, because that one, of course, yes, is colorful and has a Xenoblade 5. And it's colorful. So, and you know what creatures it has in that one too, if you know what I'm talking about. It's really crazy. I believe they don't want you to figure this secret out because, like I said, it's made almost over 7 games. You know what I mean? Like, it's made a ton of games, really. But, like it's made 7 games in a row. And State of Decay, I will do breakdowns on that, but that's kind of blatant stuff. I think State of Decay might have some blatant stuff. Now, I also had as like the to be continued project of Walking Dead, but Walking Dead, that one's a crazy one too, because Telltale's they get a ton of license. They get to do Batman. They made that Wolf game. I forget what it's called. Wolf something. I always forget. It's like Wolf Summer or whatever. Which was like the first one when it started, I believe. And then there was like, they just kept making Tell games after that. But the Batman game was surprisingly confusing too. That Batman game was very confusing, had a lot of confusing puzzles and a lot of pay attention stuff. So, but yeah, when they want to build this character and they want to make this character annoying, they've had so many, countless annoying video game characters you could go to. They've had Slippy, they've had Navi, they've had a ton of. They've had Cortana. Yes, Cortana from Halo has gotten annoying. She used to have kind of a simple role, but they changed her. They made some annoying characters in the PlayStation. So, some people said the newest Crash Bandicoot character is annoying. Some people are really indifferent with because it's way too new age. But Crash Bandicoot's always been new age, but it's it's way too new age. It kind of makes Crash Bandicoot rated M, but yeah, I think that's the reason they're mad at it, because it doesn't make it like mysterious. Crash Bandicoot, the original Crash Bandicoots, were kind of scary because they had a lot of mystery, but the newest Crash character is just like blatant in your face kind of thing. The Gears pop angle, all that. Probably curious why I don't pay attention to the rat, but the rat is for something else. I already know what the whole angle is with this rat that they first did. That was just a distraction. It really was. That was a huge distraction to other things. I just couldn't. I just can't. Couldn't. I just can't with this Kate character. Make one word to make her enjoyable, then make like a whole game with her talking about complete nonsense. Have her have like a little emotional backstory that doesn't make any sense to the Gears of War storyline. It's almost like they're going to turn Gears of War into a platformer. It's like I don't see what it was. She kind of feels like Kate would feel. She would be a different project in a different video game. Yeah, of course they try to make it feel like Gears of War. That's one of the hardest solutions to get past because they're just trying to make it feel like a Gears of War game. Chainsaws, they're trying to make it feel like an action-packed game. Oh, you're gonna fight the Locust again, and the ideas are kind of corny now. Like all the ideas are corny. The newest enemy type got a lot. It wasn't too bad. I didn't find it too bad, but it did get some backlash. So some people were like, "Man, I miss Gears of War 1 creatures," because everybody misses the Gears of 1 atmosphere overall, because it was like they put a lot of money into that. But now with their new ones, it's all colorful. It's going to it's giving you obvious things, but I don't even know. Kate's and a bunch of other things you could look up to. Of course, we haven't gotten to that. What specific Kate they want us to look at? You never know. Nickelodeon, probably Disney. You never know. Never know. Never. There's all kinds of things too. Game Pass, right? Advertising Game Pass, and I enjoy Game Pass, but they're trying to advertise Game Pass to different platformers. Different people. I thought it was cool. I do think it's cool overall how they've done this, though, because of it doesn't. It only has a few tidbits, but with the few tidbits that it has. It was good. It was good because Gears 2 honestly was crap. Gears 1 was okay. You could say Gears 1 probably had the best overall design. I didn't think Gears 4 was that bad. It was playable. Gears 5 is worse than Gears 4, but that's the point of Gears 5, because Gears 5 kind of wants to be very creepy. Gears 5 wants to be creepy with bad controls and just have a different kind of flow. It doesn't translate well though with the HD textures. It just doesn't translate well. Maybe that's what all the hype is with Gears 6, but little pop. Yeah, just little pop figures. And everybody was buying those little pop figures. They were buying those Funko Pops or whatever they are. Collectibles. And they're actually not too bad. They're pretty cool collectibles if you get the right ones and then you have them all. It's kind of funny too that you'd be like, oh, this is cute. Look at this cute Funko Pop. And then you'd see a Kate one. And then that'd be at the store, and you're just shopping at the store, but really, it's just right there in your face, but you're just like walking past it because there was all kinds of different things. So yeah, headaches, right? Kate, headaches.